German Chancellor Olaf Scholz has received newly elected French President Emmanuel Macron here in Berlin. Mr. Macron is on the first trip to Germany of his new term. President Macron was welcomed with military honors at the federal chancellery. They reiterated their support for Ukraine and highlighted the importance of close coordination between Europe's two biggest economies. And here's what Chancellor Olaf Scholz said just moments ago.
It remains the case that we stand with Ukraine. We support them morally, financially, and militarily, as well with weapons. It cannot be the case that borders in Europe can be moved around through violence. And we will do everything we can to ensure that the war does not spread to other countries and to enhance our defense capabilities.
That was the Chancellor speaking just moments ago here in Berlin. And with me on the set is political correspondent Simon Young to unpack a little bit what this bilateral meeting means. Ukraine has had a profound impact on these two leaders.
Yeah, I mean, Olaf Scholz talked about the shock of war and the way it had interrupted, for instance, one of Europe's sort of reform projects, the Conference on the Future of Europe, something that Emmanuel Macron is driving forward. France will have the presidency of the European Union. They've been sort of pushing these big ideas for changing Europe, making it more effective. But of course they've got a real concrete problem in the form of the war in Ukraine, and both men mentioning that that's what they're looking at. They talked about the need to stand with Ukraine, using that phrase as you said, shoulder to shoulder, and talking not in concrete terms in those initial remarks to the media there, particularly, but making it clear that they believe this is where their focus must be, and this is a key concern, not just for France and Germany, but for all of Europe at the moment.
The two leaders also talking about energy and obviously Germany's reliance mostly on Russian gas and fossil fuels. How do you think they will resolve that?
Yeah, I think, both men kind of came to this a little bit obliquely. They both mentioned it in the context of climate change, actually. But Olaf Scholz saying that, of course, what's needed as we look to change Europe's sources of energy is a reliable supply. And he also said that it was important to keep prices affordable. So clearly he's thinking of the potential challenges as you answer not just the question of climate change, but of course also running down energy sources, fossil fuels coming from Russia. Emmanuel Macron, I think, just saying that it's necessary to reduce the dependence on Russian oil and gas. And I think behind the scenes, the French leader may be seeking to sort of urge the German side to go even further than it already has this year.
Contextualize this meeting for us, because obviously every newly inaugurated French president, first stop is Berlin. Is this just for optics, or is there more to it?
No, I think it's more than optics, definitely. I mean, if you think about the French presidential campaign, and Marine Le Pen, the far-right challenger to Emmanuel Macron, said she was going to sort of change the whole nature of that relationship between Paris and Berlin, and would have upset it. So in a way, this is to say, we're still here. This is a continuity relationship. Of course, Emmanuel Macron worked closely with Angela Merkel for many years, and could rely on her to be, as it were, a stable anchor. That's to say, a great lover of the status quo, and of sort of keeping the ship moving steadily forward. I think there's a lot of continuity with Olaf Scholz, but the two men have got to deepen their relationship at a personal level going forward. And I think Emmanuel Macron wants German support for some of these big political reform projects he wants to do as well. Because if he goes around saying, well, this is a French idea, it's all my idea, then he may get less support from other European nations than if he's got German backing. Of course, France and Germany very strong when they work together at the heart of Europe.
All right, political correspondent Simon Young, thanks so much. Greatly appreciate it.